and that's the Euphorbia myrsinites, or the Myrtle Spurge. You can see it here in full bloom. Usually when we first moved into our property here, there was just a ton of these things all over the place, so we pulled them all out and got rid of them. And they're considered to be a bit of a noxious weed because they do spread by seed quite easily, and very dry conditions, they're happy with that. They really don't need much for water, so it's one of these things where you're wise to get rid of these things because they do spread around so much. Here we're in a desert climate, and they seem to be quite happy with that, so they're spreading around. So what I do with these is I pull every single one after they bloom. And there's always a few that seem to survive every year. This one must have survived more than 1 year because it's quite a large specimen. It's about 3 feet across, but it's again, the plant itself doesn't spread other than the seeds that spread, and the seeds will grow. So if you just pull them out right after they finish blooming and discard them into any compost, I'm sure is fine. Properly composted system should destroy the seeds. Just remember that the sap from this particular euphorbia is quite, it's sort of semi-toxic. I'll just say that some people have quite an adverse reaction to it. So wise idea to be careful, put on some rubber gloves when you're handling it. And whatever you do, don't weed whack it because I've seen that before where people have weed whacked it, and then the white milky juice that comes out of the stems just shoots everywhere, and it literally will burn your skin if it lands anywhere on your actual skin. So it's a tough little plant. It's interesting, I really I like the way it looks in the springtime, but immediately right now this one is actually about 3/4 of the way through its bloom, and they're already starting to form seed heads. I'm going to try to get up close here to see if I can show you some of the seeds starting to form. There's one right there, little seed pod. In each one of these is 3 seeds. Now, because this is a euphorbia, it doesn't mean that all euphorbias are bad, because of course the poinsettia plant is a euphorbia, Euphorbia pulcherrima. This particular one is a garden perennial. There's many euphorbias that are just awesome plants. They all have that milky sap, so that's a standard sort of a thing when it comes to euphorbias. But with this one, you just want to be a little careful with it. You want to get rid of it when it's time to get rid of it, and you pull every single one that you find. And I'll just show you, there's a few little seedlings right here as well, and we'll see if we can get a little bit of a close-up just below this plant. So obviously it seeded a bit last year, and you can see here's a little seedling, and there's a couple down here. There's one here and another one here. There's a few around here. So I'll just make sure when I do come through this that I'll clean it right up. So there you go. So that's a Myrtle Spurge. It's the Euphorbia myrsinites, and it's an invasive species in a lot of climates, and so you want to get rid of it. It is pretty in the springtime, and it's kind of interesting looking. Another name for it is Donkey Tail Spurge, but we're wise to just get rid of this one and try not to proliferate it. Have still seen it sold in garden centers from time to time, and not generally a good idea, but I guess it does happen. They certainly survive drought, that's for sure, and they are for sure deer resistant, no doubt. But that's that for that plant, and thanks very much for tuning in to growercoach.com.